What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Holy Crap, I'm going to teach you a bona fide miracle with one playing card. Pretty sick. It's the show where I teach you how to make a card disappear at the fingertips and then reappear at will. It's great because you can use a regular playing card. Heck, you can even use a Yu-Gi-Oh card, the Cyber Dragon, baby. You gotta take that, give it a squeeze, and the card reappears in the other hand.
Wow.
Heck, you could do it with your credit card when you go to pay for your coffee to impress that cute girl behind the counter. How much is the coffee? $4. I'll just pay by card if it's all the same to you. Woo! Can I get your number now? I'm guessing that's a no on the number, but if you stick around until the end of the video, I'll even teach you a more advanced handling where you can make the card disappear, show both your hands, and then produce the card in midair. That's right, I'll teach you how to produce it in a flash. Now, before we get stuck into the tutorial, make sure that you subscribe if you haven't already and smash the like button. I'll break the tutorial up into like a couple of different parts. First is the Vanish, then I'm going to teach you how to reproduce the card. Reproduction. And then lastly, I'll show you that advanced handling where you can switch the card between your hands and then boom, baby, produce it at the fingertips. So grab a deck of cards or a business card or whatever cards you got on you, and let's get stuck straight into the Tenkai Vanish. It looks way cooler when I actually catch it. Whee! Alright, so here we are with the Vanish. Now the beautiful thing about this trick is once you learn the Vanish, the rest of this tutorial will just fall into place. It'll all be very easy for you. Now I like to pretend to take the card in my other hand and then have it disappear. It actually just gets hidden in my hand. This is called the Tenkai Palm. You can see my thumb holding the card parallel to the floor. If you think of how the angles to hide it, you just want to keep it parallel to the floor. That's literally all you have to think about. If you keep it flat to the floor, it'll pretty much be angle proof. As soon as you start trying to overcompensate, that's when you flash. Parallel to the floor. Remember that. Now the other thing you can do is instead of taking the card and having it disappear like this, you can also make it look like you throw it. Of course, the same thing, you just keep it in your hand, but it looks sick, man! Now let me tell you how I do this. Most people will just hold it in two fingers like this, okay? They'll bring it back and then they'll place it into that Tenkai Palm. I like to hold it with 3 fingers. I'm not sure why. I like the idea of having all my fingers extended and then I do the motion of throwing it and all the fingers are extended again. There's just something about that to me that just looks better. But you know, it's personal preference, I suppose. So don't overthink it. The only thing that you have to try and accomplish is that as you turn the card, so as you bring it in, you want to try and twist these fingers to get it flat. You see that? So you'll be holding it in this grip, and then you'll start to bring it in, and then you can see I'm sort of twisting it as I bring it in, so that I can place it into position, and then I just grab it with the thumb. So you can see it's held. If you were to need an exact placement, my thumb crease is pretty much holding the card, but it depends on the size of your hand. Any size hand can do this, so don't stress. And then where it's positioned is in the middle of the 2 paddy bits of your hand. So you see how it kind of, your hand just meets in the middle here and you get this nice little bit there? That's typically where the card ends up. I dropped it. But yeah, so once you figure out how to do that, really all you've got to do is just concentrate on rotating in slowly, turning the card, and then placing it there, and then you're just going to extend your thumb out, okay? And just grab that card, then you open your hand. When you put it all together, it just really does look like it disappears. Now if you need to practice that, I recommend just taking the card and placing it here, okay, just so you can get a feel for how it's meant to be in there. Look in a mirror and just see where it looks like it's hidden, and then from there try to replicate that motion of placing it in there like this. Yeah, that's all you've got to do. So, right? Nice and quick though. Gone! A bona fide miracle! Now I'm a pretty firm believer of not over-explaining stuff, so if you need to go back and re-watch that, you should. Like I said, all you've got to do is just concentrate on trying to get that card into position. Alright, so let's just dive straight into the production. If you've already mastered the Vanish, like that, boom baby, then the production is just literally the reverse. I'm just going to curl my fingers in until they can clip that card once again, and then I'm just going to extend them out and it's going to be boom, right back in position again. Boom, you see that? Super easy, man. Barely an inconvenience. I love screen rants. Now I do want to give you a couple of tips on this. This is not a trick where you want to make the card disappear and then stand here for 5 minutes, okay? Because you're going to have this weird looking T-Rex style hand, which you just don't want, okay? So if you're going to make the card disappear, try to have it reproduce within a reasonable space of time. You don't want them to be looking around for it for too long. This trick is really more of like a wow, like a shock moment impact kind of thing, where it's just like, oh yeah, here's my card. Boom! And in that moment, their brain is just like, wow! And that's when you go, and you reproduce it while they're still trying to gather their whole reality. And then boom, the card is back. And you, a sexy magician, man. You a sexy magician now. Now, if you've managed to make it this far into the video, I'm going to teach you the advanced handling. This is where stuff gets real complicated. So, strap in. Things are going to get crazy. Now, the advanced handling is a little bit different. As opposed to holding it like this, where you're flicking it into position, you're actually going to be holding it in this kind of like pinch grip on the top corner so that most of it's hanging down. Okay, I've got my middle finger. Oh, flipped you off again. Sorry, guys. I have a bad habit of doing that. And the pointer. Middle finger and the pointer are going to go on the top here. Thumb just comes in behind. And what you're going to be doing essentially is just curling in that middle finger to get it in position. You just slip your thumb around the back there. So it looks something like this. Boom. You see that? Now, the reason why the handling is different is because this handling requires less movement. It's not so much of a flick the card away. It's more of like a finessey, I'm making the card seemingly remain in this hand until the last possible second. And to do that, what I do is I grab it with a nice big open hand like this. You see my hand's open, all my fingers are open, and once they close, okay, once they close, exactly the moment that they close, that's when I pull the card back. So I don't know if you can see here, I close, and that's when I pull the card back in behind my hand. And then from the front, it literally just looks like that card could still be there until it's gone. Now from here, you've got the card in the Tenkai position. I like to do a little display like this. So you've taken the card, all right? I'm doing a bit sloppy there, I do apologize. So you've taken the card like this, it looks like it's there, and then it looks like it's gone. Both hands mimic, but you're showing this hand completely open and mimicking it with the other hand. It really does just look like that card disappears completely. From here, this is where you start to do the hand wash sequence, where you can show both hands empty, and then from there produce the card. The hand wash sequence, once you take the card, is as follows. I take the card, okay, this hand turns palm up, facing the audience like this, and my thumb is just going to press this card into, boom, into a gambler's cop. So a gambler's cop is a lot overhanging here, but with my hand like this, you can't see that, and they're going to be looking at this hand anyway, right? So you're taking the card, boom, it disappears, you know, mimic that motion. From here, you can do a little point, nothing in this hand here. Push it into your gambler's cop with the thumb. You see my pointer finger here is still in front of the top edge of that card. This allows me to hide it from the front so you don't accidentally see like a little bit of the card at the top. My pointer finger is able to block that almost perfectly, right? And because of your thumb, you've pushed it in so the card's bowing in the same direction as your hand's curling, and you can show this hand empty. From here, you're going to come back down as if you're clapping your hands together. Obviously you want to do it a bit more delicately. I'm placing them together, and because the card is just in the perfect position, I'm able to just push it into my other hand. I'm able to curl my hand a little bit. You see, I curl my hand around the card a little bit, and then I grip it into a palm. Now, if you're not familiar with a palm, all I'm doing is I'm holding it between my pinky. So I've got the corner here, the pip side corner here, and then the fleshy part of my thumb holding the other side of the corner. But from here, it just looks like it's not there, okay? Now I push this up into my palm as I'm turning everything so I can show the back of my hand to them. This will cover the card in the hand. I do a little like rub here just to, you know, just to sort of show innocence, I suppose. And then I produce the card. So when I do this, I go boom, nothing here, and then from here, boom, I produce the card right at the fingertips. Now this production, it's a little knacky. is probably the hardest part of the whole routine. You don't have to produce it like that. Once you're in this position here, you can literally just, grab it and just push it into the, you can do it whatever you really want. Or you can reach into your pocket and pretend it was there the whole time. But if you want to do the fancy production, it looks like that. What you need to do is, from your palm position, I actually pull my hand back. Look, I pull my hand back so that the card is now bowing opposite, right? So from the front you still can't see it, but from here there's a nice big gap where I try to sneak my thumb in there, and I'm also curling this middle finger around the front. They're kind of meeting about here, and when I release it from the pad of my thumb and pinching it there, it just pops into view. So you can see I bow my hand, so you get that big bow. I'm getting my thumb under, and then I'm just popping it up. So I know that seems really complicated, but that is probably the most simple way to explain it. Creating that bow, boop, curling that middle finger over the front edge, getting the thumb under, and then popping it up into view. Now the angles for this you're going to have to practice in the mirror, because it's super easy to flash this. So just, repetition is the key, fam. Anyway, guys, I think that's a sufficient enough explanation for y'all. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment below. And, yeah.
Enchanté.